So you want to get into property, but you don't have the money. Let's get creative. Let's jump straight in. So, can you get money, no money down? No, you can't. It's a load of bullshit. You can stop watching the video now and move on, right? Now, the truth is, it's a marketing thing. When people go no money down property, it's not really no money down. It's low money down. Now, the reason I'm saying that is if you have zero and you've got zero access to money, like a credit card loan, personal loan, business loan, whatever it is, it's like no, or ability to raise finance elsewhere, then no, property's just not for you. And hopefully you enjoy the content for when you are ready for it, okay? So, for the rest of us, there are some strategies that are very low amounts of money. And what I'm going to give you is my top 3 strategies that are the lowest amount, ending with my absolute favorite. So let's start with number 1, lease options. Lease options is where you control the asset instead of owning it. J.D. Rockefeller, one of the richest people to have ever lived, was famously quoted, "Control everything, own nothing." And then what he does is he becomes one of the richest people by essentially doing lease options on skyscrapers around the world. So you take control of the asset and you buy it later. Let me give you an example. Let's say there's a £100,000 house, but it's in negative equity. So they want $100,000 for it, but it's got debt on it of $105,000. So it's downvalued from whenever they bought it. Bad for them, or is it good for you? Who knows? So what you do is you would agree to buy it from them at $105,000 at some point in the future. So you might go, hey, I'll buy it for $105,000, but in 5 years' time. Now, this isn't a lease option video. If you want me to do a full breakdown of lease option, put lease option in the comment and I'll create one for you, okay? So you are giving yourself the right to buy it in 5 years' time, but you are not obligated. So if in 5 years' time, it's still worth less than that amount of money, you can give the keys back, go, sorry, see you later, no risk whatsoever. Now, what it is really good for is giving you that experience. And by the way, you must have consideration for this. What that means is there has to be an exchange of money to make it legally binding, but that consideration can be £1. Yes, you can get on the property ladder for just £1. Great, right? It's also very good to get into the mindset of a buy-to-let investor. So if you're somebody like me and you love boring, vanilla buy-to-let properties, but maybe you're a bit nervous about the risk of owning the asset, or you don't have the funds right now, by doing a lease option on a buy-to-let property, you get all of the experience. Yes, you don't currently benefit as an asset, but you have the right to buy it in the future, but you take on all of the experience that comes with it, so you have more confidence to buy in the future. So I think lease options are an incredible opportunity, and in general, you probably need around £10,000 in total to secure the property, make sure you're getting any refurb works done on it, and actually getting it ready for a tenant in the first place, especially if you're outsourcing it and going to have to pay some fees. The next is rent to rents. Now, rent to rents are kind of like lease options without the option to purchase it, but it's the same concept. There's a part of a lease option that's like a management agreement, and it's very similar in rent to rent. Essentially, you are renting a unit as a whole, and then you slice it and dice it and rent out the individual units. So the most common one of this is you might rent a 5-bedroom house or a 4-bed house with a reception room at £1,000 a month, and then you might rent out each individual room of £500 a month, so you're getting in £2,000 when fully occupied, pay the landlord £1,000, then you've got maybe £500 worth of bills and you make £500 profit. Now, how much money do you need for this? Typically £5,000 to £7,000, because you're going to need to get some furnishings, maybe tar up the property, bring it up to scratch, and of course you're going to have some advertising costs anyway, and your deposit, first month's rent, and then the first few months you're going to be getting the tenants in. So is it a great strategy? Well, yeah, it is. I've had a portfolio of rent-to-rents in the past, decided it wasn't for me, and I ended up selling it on, but it's a great way to get cash flow. Again, why would I take on a rent-to-rent HMO? Well, number one, if I was very new to the market and I had the time available, really key there, you need the time, because people are going to call you at random times. You need to put that in, okay? If you've got a full-time job, I am not convinced rent-to-rent is for you, but if you've got the time available for random calls and flexibility at your job, it could be really good. The other thing that I really like about rent to HMO is at my position, I've got a fairly big portfolio, but say I wanted to go into HMOs in an area and I wanted to put a lot of resource into it, I might get a rent-to-rent HMO first to test the market. Really low financial input, really low risk, because I can just pull out of the contract with a couple of bits of fees and take my loss, rather than spending 100 grand in cash to get a great HMO that might not work out. So it is a great situation. Now, that's the basics of rent to rent. But by the way, you could do rent to rent on anything. Rent to rent on an office, for example. We're in an office right now. I could rent out this entire space, maybe one side of my room, for about £5,000 a month. I could then get a load of desks in it, get some phones on it, get a screen on it, get internet, and then rent out each desk for maybe £300 a desk, okay? That is also rent to rent on offices. You could do rent to service accommodation and so much more. But decent strategy, not one that I jump into too much nowadays, but it's a great starter one. Number 3, and possibly my favorite, deal packaging. Now, a lot of people get deal packaging wrong. What they typically do is they'll go over here and go, right, let's find this great property. This is incredible. I love this property. I'm going to package it up and I want to send it out to investors. And they send it on Facebook groups. They pitch it everywhere. They WhatsApp groups, all of that. And they're like, why is nobody doing it? And I hear shit like this all the time. I can find loads of great properties, Jamie, but I can't find investors. Well, you're not finding great properties then, because what makes a property great is somebody wanting to buy it. So what I want you to do with this, if you want to get it right, is flip that around. What you're going to do is you're going to go and find investors, okay? Could be like you, maybe you want to invest with me, right? And put APG in the comments if that's you, by the way. But if you're an investor, then what you can do is have a conversation with them, a consultation, where you understand where they're at, where they want to get to, the criteria that you can work with them at, and you say to them, hey, would you like to be a part of this journey? If they say no, cool, move on. And if they say yes, they put down a retainer fee, you then become their personal shopper, and then when you're going out there putting in offers on the properties, you know you can do it with confidence. You've got proof of funds, which you're going to get asked for. You've got proof of solicitor, proof of ID, and of course you've got proof of concept, because you're only putting in offers based on the criteria that the investor has given to you. It is the only way to do this successfully. In general, with that, I would say deal packaging, you still need 3,000 to 5,000, and 3,000 minimum. 5,000 is the ideal situation. The reason for that is you're going to want to get your education in place, obviously very important, your compliance in place, which is very important, and some basic marketing, okay? That's going to cost you minimum $3,000 all in, ideally $5,000, so you've got marketing spend for the first 4 months, which is going to be the real bit where you're generating as much as possible. The thing that I love about deal packaging is it's the only property strategy that makes money in all areas. When we're in a boom, when we're in a bust, when we're straight, it's always going to make you money. The other reason I love it is you get paid today. I don't know about you, but I don't like working for free. The cool thing about deal packaging, if you do it the right way, is you get paid today and then facilitate the service. That is a great business model. And number 3, you are next to zero risk. You don't have your own money in a property. And how many strategies, especially in property, can you say, I can grow exponentially in my wealth with very little downside? And I mean next to zero risk. So in terms of speed of money, deal packaging is the fastest. However, let me be clear, there is no get rich quick in property. In terms of risk in property, deal packaging is the lowest. The downside, of course, is you're actually looking after your cash pot, but you're not looking after your wealth pot. What I mean by that is you are building up nice chunks of cash, but then what I would look to do is utilize that actively made cash and plant it into a passive investment, like my favorite, boring, vanilla buy-to-let properties. Hopefully this has been valuable, guys. If you've been watching this and you think, damn, I need to educate myself, I'm ready to invest in myself, then put education in the comments. I'll be in touch with a link. What we can do is we'll have a free one-to-one strategy session, work out where you're at, where you want to get to, and if we can help you get on that journey. And it's completely free, no obligation whatsoever. If you are interested in having a chat personally, put education in the comments. Hey, by the way, if you're new to the channel and you want to learn more about property investment and actually just grow in as a person, then hopefully you've got value from this video, enough so that you would subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're updated about future videos. And of course, if you are a repeat subscriber and viewer, welcome back to the channel. Make sure to hit the like button. Really does help out the algorithm, and I'll see you in the next video.